What's up, my comic book brothers and my comic book sisters from another mister? Today we're going to do a comic book review of Gunslinger Spawn, issue number 13, brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. Previously in Gunslinger Spawn, just a quick summary, after a particularly brutal battle with the villainous Winterstone, Gunslinger gets his information he was looking for. Now his quest continues. We begin this panel with Taylor buying some knickknacks from G-Mart or whatnot. Taylor is still walking with a limp, and he allows himself a small of satisfaction. That was because of the bag of cash that Gunslinger Spawn handed him in the previous issue. However, Javier is frustrated and he just stares at the pictures on the menu. He could really use Taylor's help right now. He's hungry. Like Tyrese says in Fast and Furious, we hungry.
Like I said, we hungry.
And he can't read and he wants to order something off the menu. So when Taylor finally gets there, Gunslinger asks him in Javier form, what's this? And Taylor's like, it's a Grand Slam breakfast. Grand Slam breakfast, what's that? You know, like baseball, what's baseball? Keep in mind, Gunslinger Spawn came from the 1800s immediately into current time. He's not gonna know what that is. And Taylor's like, not this again. I'm seriously wondering, with all this shit that keeps coming your way, how are you planning on doing anything if you can't read? Hey, my boy, I'll just figure it out. So Javier asks him how his back is feeling. He's like, man, like crap, but at least the cash you gave me helped. And that's a reference from the last issue, which you could check that out if you haven't checked that out as well. So Taylor asks him the obvious question, your reading problem, man, how are you gonna address all this? Well, Javier is like, all I need to know are directions. It's why we're in this town. Just point me where we got to go. And Taylor's like, what are you doing? Are you gonna go after one of those guys that Winterstone mentioned? When will you be back? And you see that dark, sinister face like, oh, I am, and I'll be back when I'm done. Later on, as the night falls down, we see this guy on a cell phone with a suit talking on the phone, talking about, hey, just be patient. We don't know who he's talking about or who he's talking to, but that's not the important part. We don't care about any of that. What we care about is what happens when the railroad, where the train starts passing by, and there's something wrong. The tires are flat, and guess what? That's Gunslinger Spawn doing his thing. So as his assistant, his bodyguard, we should call him that, reaches for the phone to call for assistance, for roadside assistance, Gunslinger's like, bro, you looking for this? This guy doesn't know who Gunslinger is at that moment, so he's like, I'll give you my wallet and the keys. Your car can't move. Why would I want your keys for? And you know who I am? So stop pretending. He tries drawing his gun, so the driver must not know, or maybe knows, but we're gonna go with not know who Gunslinger is, and he shoots him in the chest. Who else knows I'm here, says Gunslinger. Go to hell, says the brother. And he was like, yo, man, I was hoping you'd say that. Decks him in the face, decks him again in the face, kicks him on the back, pushes his head through the glass, and the employer sticks his head out like, what's going on? And you, in that kind of face, come on now, like you gotta have a much more shocked face. You heard a gunshot earlier, and your bodyguard's head being smashed in the face. Stay where you are and don't move. You seem important. And he does seem important enough to get his ass whipped. But anyways, so after he tells her to stay in the car, Gunslinger's like, yo, man, stay right there. I know you're important because I'm going to take care of your boy here first. And this guy gets strapped on the road, on the railroad. And Gunslinger proceeds to ask him, how many of you came through the hole? I got no beef with you, Gunslinger. Problem is, says Gunslinger, I got beef with you and your people. So tell me, especially your old boss Sanchez. I can't kill me. He'll kill me. He won't kill you because I'm gonna kill you first. Now, where is he? Heard he's around these parts. You deaf boy. And as the train approaches and he just keeps staying in silence, Gunslinger just, cool like a cucumber, just sits around, waits for his answer. So he tells him, last chance, boy, and the train just runs over him and splats him. Meanwhile, in the cabin in the woods, that's a good name for a movie. Actually, it is a movie, but we're gonna go back to the content. He asks when his dinner's gonna be ready, and his wife tells him chicken just needs about another 20 minutes. You said that about 20 minutes ago. Get your act together. I bust my ass all day out here out in these streets. You got me out in these streets doing my job. Why can't you do yours? Get that chicken ready. Oh, I'm doing my best, baby. Shut up and get me a beer. Your boy hungry.
Like I said, we hungry.
Anyways, so there's a loud thump on the top of the roof, and he wonders what the Christ is at. And she tells him, okay, I guess it came from the roof, and he gets a shotgun like, it better not be them damn owls again. And obviously this is not the first occurrence, but we all know this ain't that kind of typical occurrence, they know. So she tells him to be careful. Seconds later, an explosion comes in the form of a human cannibal. Tonight's chicken's gonna be uneaten. Get on your feet, fat man. I'm through with you, not by a long shot. Yo, Gunslinger, I mean, you my boy and all, but that's kind of fucked up. Like, I love chicken. Let the boy finish his chicken first. Let him have his last meal before you give him his ass whooping. And then she cocks the shotgun back and points it at Gunslinger's head. I came for your husband, lady, not you. Drop your gun and tell me why you're here, says the girl. Because your husband hurts people, lots of them. Don't spill your lies to me, Gunslinger. I know you're kind. My husband only hurts those that deserve it. Those that got that evil in their heart. Men that ain't God-fear. Now drop your damn gun. And Gunslinger's like, okay, I wouldn't do what you're thinking of because your barrel's crooked. It won't shoot straight. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, those are off for a quick second. And that quick second is all Gunslinger needs to make sure that barrel is crooked for real. Now, you know what these are, says Gunslinger as he puts these necklaces out. These are necklaces from the corpse of just a small number of those that your husband has murdered. And he's going to pay for those sins tonight. Question is, you want to join him? And she's like, nah, we cool, do your thing. And he's like, okay, I didn't think so. So Gunslinger doesn't say another word for the rest of the night. Now, you may be wondering, how did this brother find out who this guy is? Keep in mind, the guy in the back of the Suburban didn't feel like getting straight by the train, so that bald brother, the employer, spilled the beans to Gunslinger. And Gunslinger knows exactly what he's gonna do to torture him. And also, Javier also thinks what they did to him when he was just becoming a man, so he ties him up, straps him to the horse. You're crazy, let me go. But before they depart, Gunslinger wants to leave Sanchez with a reminder of who he is. And once Gunslinger Spawn does that, he slaps the horse's ass, and there they go. Javier will find the horse about 5 hours from now. That's when Sanchez's real punishment will begin. And then we go into a flashback of what happened back in the 1800s. The year was 1860. And Javier has been waiting far too long to exact that punishment. Officially, the Civil War had not begun, but tensions had already started to divide friends and families across the Mideast. That animosity slowly poured itself west with devastating results. And we see young Javier, before Gunslinger Spawn formed, getting dragged through that same punishment he's exacted on Sanchez. He doesn't remember being dragged across the rocks, dirt, and water because, mercifully, he passed out hours ago. It's only because of a fatigued horse that got thirsty stopped this ordeal. But two things forever changed that day for Javier. The first was letting the evil poison of hate enter his heart. It's been there ever since. He gets a piece of shard or piece of rock, a sharp rock, and cuts himself loose. And as he escapes and cuts himself loose from his feet, we see the devastating result on his face. The second was finally understanding that he was somehow different. And as he walks and looks for some water just to try to survive, that enlightenment would change his destiny permanently, which is why he needed to survive. And he needs to survive. He's trying his best to stay up on his feet. He's walking, stumbling. It was also something he remembered, that he realized animals were somehow drawn to him. He collapsed to the ground, and that horse goes up to him, all because he tried doing the decent thing. Now, a half a day earlier, what happened as we end this flashback, within the flashback, so a half a day earlier, the gang had been drinking far too long, and their manners were shifting into something more, drunk saloon style, So these men, they're drunk and they're, they thirsty, they hungry, they start acting rowdy. And so they get this woman, and they obviously have some plans that they want to do to her. And this guy's like, yo, man, that's my wife, and this is my gun. Now what? I'm getting Sheriff Jones, says the guy. And I don't know, this man protecting his wife. But when you see a gun in your face, you got to do the wise thing and back down and live another day, right? Didn't you hear? Sheriff's out of town, says the guy smoking a cigar. She slaps him. Unhand me. Whoa, Nelly. I think she left a mark. And this guy's like, I can call a doctor if you need, boss. Nah, he's mad. You can't get slapped like that and let your boys just talk about it like that. So he slaps her back. You need to control your wife, and he decks the husband in his chin. They leave her husband bleeding in the dirt as they walk away, taking the victim, taking the girl. Now, the lady asked to be let go, and that's a voice coming out off screen. And we see this brother go down after a knife to his forehead. So they turn around curiously, wondering who the heck is this guy? And it's Javier. Where I came from, you never make a lady ask twice. Not if you don't want to get yourself hurt. And that's where we end this issue of Gunslinger Spawn issue number 13. A little flashback of Javier. Now, I know they touched on this in Spawn's universe. I did do a review on that. I'll put the card up top and link in description as well. Now, I absolutely love this issue. Now, we went from learning who Gunslinger is to what what the mission is. We know that he's on the hunt for those that did his sister Amy wrong. And now that he's on a hunt, mixed with some brutal savagery, you cannot go wrong with this, man. I still am up in the air with what my favorite Spawn issue is. King Spawn or Gunslinger Spawn. To me, those are splitting hairs, but this issue, with how good this issue is, in my personal opinion, oh man, it has a little bit of an edge right now, but I'm not going to be quick to jump to conclusions at this point. But link in description if you wish to add this comic book to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. With that being said, Gunslinger Spawn issue number 13. What you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know. And also, if you like the content we're throwing up, you know what to do. Don't be shy, don't be stingy. Here at Rated Comics, we do awesome comic book reviews, comic book related content with the occasional comic book giveaway. And also, this review is sponsored by coffee, so if you'd like to buy your boy a cup of coffee, link in the description. But the best compliment you guys can do is by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. Thank you again for watching. Until next time.